Does that get captured in the audio?
I'm pretty sure.
That is just
I'm
that is
pretty
the most
sure.
ominous, spooky voice for being like, "Hey, so I'm just gonna record you guys really quick." No, it's like, "Now recording."
Now recording.
I
Hey,
like
it's
it.
me.
Fucking robot
I'm
voice.
Craig.
Okay. Everyone get some music playing, catch a vibe.
I'm
Alright.
caught, my lord.
Vibe caught in hand. So previously, in our last game, we saw our group of former students continue on their course across Arcavios, stopping in some major cities in hopes of collecting casting components and possibly finding spell work that would sort of work to keep their whereabouts hidden from the likely ever-watching Auric. We continue our story almost 3 weeks into their scattered trip across the continent. Currently, we would see our troop on board the Dragonfly spelljamming vessel as it would descend from the clouds down towards a fairly sprawling looking cityscape below. We would sort of zoom into the interior of the ship, finding our group of 5 in the ship's sort of cramped common rooms. Liliana holding a few items in her hands, as there's essentially all of you guys there, 6, including Aelody and Liliana herself. And she'd be holding up a few of these items here, and it would look to be one of the cloaks of elven kind, and 2 potions that you guys had come across during your last stop at the dwarven capital of Grumlet. She'd be sort of loosely holding these 3 items almost to the group. Well, I think holding on to this extra cloak and these potions that you found, duplicates of, I may add, I think it may serve us best if we sold them for extra funds. It may make it so that way we can keep our stops brief, keeping hopefully to performances and maybe small acts of service and quests and other aids we could get gold from, hopefully. But before I did any of this, I of course wanted to check with all of you. And again, she's holding the Cloak of Elven Kind, holding 1 of the potions of lightning resistance and 1 potion of cold resistance. Those being the potions that you found 2 of in the dive you guys went into.
Well, I mean, it sounds good to me.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty smart idea. I mean, I especially don't need that lightning resistance potion. As she runs her hand through her hair and a little bit of lightning.
And Liliana would sort of nod as everyone seemed in affirmation. Excellent. Very well. In our next stop, I will try to pawn these off for as much gold as we can, add it to the funds, hopefully picking up more components. Again, the most drastic one I think we'll be in need of is diamonds, so fetching a pretty penny for these will hopefully extricate a lot of this searching we may have to do. The sooner we can find these components, the sooner I'm sure we'll all feel safer heading to the Pinzari Isles. On our next stop, again, the home of the halflings, Silk Meadow. I think this particular city also may be extra perceptive to your performance that you all have been sort of loosely crafting, it seems. The halflings are always known to love a good show. So I leave it up to your choice, of course, what you decide to spend our brief time in that city doing. But I would just feel that's probably worth noting.
Dun, 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 dun.
I know how to work with dramatic folk. Don't worry, I'll compose the best routine, and I bet Quent will even have ideas too.
Right. I think that is a very good call. Right. I will go and prepare for our landing. I think we'll be touching down any time now. And
well, I have ideas. I don't know if now's a good time to share them.
I mean, whatever you like. You guys seem to maybe have 30-ish minutes before the ship actually touches down.
Brett would think to just like adapt their old routine that they did in that last like Magic-y town, but they should set up an air of mystery by like gathering a bunch of people by calling it like a pop-up show, and just like creating a lot of buzz, and then getting people just on the cusp of like, when's the show gonna happen? And then it's like, boom.
Get Marius
Okay,
and,
so-
and Brett to drum up like a performance and stuff to just draw on a crowd and shit in the beginning.
Let's call it a burlesque show and bait and switch them.
Yeah,
Everyone
start a bit of
appreciates
a-
that.
We gotta start a bit of a whisper campaign, get the buzz going around before the show starts.
Just walk around town all day, just like, man, I can't wait for this show later. What show? Oh,
Yeah.
you heard? And then just show up
Ah.
and be the performer.
Yeah.
I got a lot of charisma.
I bet Marius has lots of experience with that. What does he think? You're a literal traveling performer, like you and I. When you think about it.
I also
Me getting a little taste, a little free show. Hit up a tavern, a corner spot. Take a bow. Hey, later tonight. Grand show. Or we can make it a circus vibe. The man with two souls. And Kellen can come
you want to turn wars into a circus act?
Yeah.
Someone from the crowd's just like, those words are made up. That's not a real person.
He's just speaking gibberish.
The boy on fire. That's a man.
Man.
Shut up.
I think that's xenophobic.
They're halflings. They're known for being prejudiced. Mary's
What
probably put
about-
on like an afternoon tune, and then just be like, "Hey, later tonight, grand show."
Mhm.
Yeah.
We'll just like move across the city, I guess, so we can sort of like Pied Piper our way through the city, bringing
Basically.
people to the other end for a big grand finale performance.
We're
then we're
trying
like,
to start
anyway.
a parade.
We're literally passing through. Goodbye.
Yeah. We should find a small town and put on a big show, and then have one of us just break into houses as well.
Oh my god.
Elodie,
That's so much
Elodie,
more
go.
experience than pickpocketing.
Yeah, like that's basically what Kellen wanted to do, but a bit harder.
Yeah,
No, that-
Elodie, we'll put on the performance, and you just go invisible, and you just go around town, and you break into all those houses, and bring back all the good shit.
Why put in that much effort when you can just wait till everyone goes to church and rob them on Sunday?
Oh, let's start a religion.
Here on Sunday, man.
Think of all the money we'd make.
Like we're here today, whatever today is.
But no, I mean, Marius back in his traveling days would play like an afternoon thing at the tavern when it was slow for like a free drink or something, and then be like, "I'll be here later," and that's when he puts his hat out for cool.
Ah.
And then, there'd be like 4 or 5 people, not a lot. But then they'd go throughout the town and be like, "Hey, this dude's pretty good."
You hear about that new guy that's in town? He's playing at that tavern?
That
One
winged
night
feller,
only.
well, funny.
That winged feller.
He sure does play that string thing real nice.
I love this depiction of halflings we have going. This is, I love this. This is great.
Are they not like
None of
actually,
this is going-
Louisiana swamp folk?
None of this is going to be accurate when we get there.
Isn't that why they have big feet? Sounds sinking in the mud. That was an
Like-
evolutionary trait.
like
That's
snowshoes.
hobbits.
Aren't they the same thing? Listen, I met a Mr. Token playing in a tavern.
Oh my god, we're going to the Nine Hells.
You maybe. I am a celestial. I'm already an angel. So.
I also find it funny how simple and down to earth your performances, and then thinking about the last couple performances we've done,
Yeah.
they were a bit
Yeah,
more
we've been
extravagant.
We've been very flashy. But
We-
you can
we
play
had-
music.
We've basically been putting on like random stage shows.
Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a. Can we also? Oh man.
We have a
should-
loose script.
All right, guys. We're gonna start growing our own mushrooms in the bottom hole, and we'll sell those at the door.
Oh.
Hello,
On a
it is me.
performance.
Hello.
You're a non-menacing traveling drug salesman. Would you like to buy drugs from me and never see me again?
Yeah.
Would you
Kinda,
like to
yeah,
take
that
this
sounds-
nondescript bag of mushrooms?
Yeah.
Right before
What's
you go
strange?
into this
good
weird
one.
dark tent.
And then that should give us advantage on pickpocketing. So
You want to drug up the audience before you steal from them?
well, yeah, but we're still gonna put on a show. So are we really stealing from them?
Where do you get these sports from, Marius? Like, we've been on this ship for a couple weeks now.
Listen,
We've really been
guys,
working on our sword fighting. We could put on a good combat performance.
I think Gail can actually get through a session now without completely being dead, but she is still very much afterwards.
side splints. Yeah, I
She
haven't been
doesn't
here for
drop
the
her
show. I don't know
sword
how gaudy
anymore.
you are.
All
But I
right.
still think give him a little taste, you know, a little tune. You break, throw some fire in the air.
A little lick.
If you
Hey,
guys want
watch
to.
this! Whoosh!
Gil,
My
can
dad can do that.
you do some temptuous magic for a second.
The boy who can sprint for 3 hours.
I promise you, he's still running.
Anyway, don't worry about that. He'll be back in a little while. So anyway.
Alright, so he'll be back
That
in
man
3
again.
hours.
I gotta refamiliarize myself.
And some people say still to this day that he's still out there running.
Those people are
Did-
fucking liars. But that's
Did Marius level up to level 7?
yeah,
Okay.
it changed.
All right.
Everything.
So it sounds like we have a loose idea. We want to kind of do a little bit some small shows at taverns and brief performances to drum up business, and then hopefully have a grander show towards the end of your stay.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna bar hop performances until the evening, where we've told everyone to go.
Yeah.
Maybe like a little afternoon thing, maybe a city square gig, and then we'll break, and then we'll, little teaser, little trailer, and then bam.
I like it. I like it. Now,
Okay.
what's our performance exactly that we're sort of brainstorming? Because we had a few ones. We had the sort of classic, more acrobatic storytelling style. Then I heard mentions of a bit more of a combat-centered performance.
Mm,
I mean, Gail's definitely down for that. She wants to show off her shit.
What kind of stories do halflings like? Do they have? What are the
Tell me the
philosophies of their culture?
story.
Give
Destroying
me
the ring
a
in the
history
mountain.
check. I'll let you decide if it's normal advantage or disadvantage for Brett.
Well, what if we incorporate both? Like somebody doing all these trials and stuff with the acrobatics. It's all dangerous. And
I
then
mean,
it gets
yeah,
into
if-
trouble, and we have like a little fight thing going.
What if Kellen pickpocket?
Hell yeah!
Ooh.
Nice.
We can have Kellen be a
19.
kraken. Just pop out his tentacles. Just like,
You would know, I mean, with the 19 as far as, halfling history and maybe what their various interests may be here in Arcavio specifically. You would loosely be familiar with Silk Meadows. Recent seems like a bad word for it, but they are sort of one of the youngest of the quote-unquote major cities of Arcavios. The halflings sort of spreading off, doing their own thing. There are a lot of smaller cultures that eventually came together, essentially after the Blood Age. and kind of became more and more of like a united sect. And so there's a lot of tales of heroes, a lot of tales of defeating great monsters, overcoming overwhelming odds against all odds.
I mean, I think our story, like, we already had an underdog theme to our story.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want to be a Kraken.
Yeah. So I'd say we just go all out on that for our evening performance.
I like it.
And then line up songs about heroes and the power of friendship and shit to lure people in.
I love it. I love it. So do some small little shows at taverns, drum up business, little teasers, and then bam. After a couple hours of drumming up business, taking a brief little moment to maybe soak up the atmosphere, you guys will do that final show. Okay.
Better change back to my pseudonym.
Yes.
A lot of good that does.
That's another fair point. Everyone has sort of
Somebody-
taken on aliases whenever they go into some of these cities, Marius. Everyone's trying to...
These are our performer names.
Yeah.
We are not great at calling each other by those names either.
It was mostly because like Chance was really high last week, so he kept fucking it up unintentionally, but
was
we played
so
with
high.
it.
This is Brett. I chat. Flameo. Fuck.
Yeah, basically.
Essentially, in a nutshell, yeah.
and then Gale would shock him.
Sorry, Gail. Oops. I mean,
I don't know why I said that. It's not your name. Never said that in my life.
Oh yeah,
man.
so we don't talk about the before place.
I've never been to school. School? What's that?
What's that?
Who's there?
Should have been to Strixhaven? No, Brixhaven Community.
Sister
Prison.
college.
It was the prison.
You probably never heard of it. I gotta go.
And from there, the ship would descend and eventually touch down at the dry docks here. Our group coming above deck to see the beautiful city around them. Sort of squat homesteads, wide architecture, and humble shops sort of line the pathways as you guys begin to sort of leave and begin winding through some of these almost like brick-laid streets. A lot of the architecture here would be a lot of stonework mixed with like minimal woodwork in sections, giving this very durable aesthetic to everything, though everything again is very proportional to sort of the dominating race here being halflings. So some of the buildings almost look slightly smaller than expected, not wildly so, but just a little more squat. Some doorways look like some of you may have to crouch ever so slightly to sort of get through them. While there would be standard sized buildings here or there, the sort of squat, sort of wide stone basin architecture sort of dominates here. Sort of walking through, there'd be many trees and flora that sort of pepper this entire area. Silk Meadow itself essentially being a cluster of hills and sort of like moving terrain, not like moving, but there is a lot of depth in certain sections, so the city kind of wobbles in parts, like up and down. It has this wide stone wall around it, and in sections there's a lot of these like wide stone pathways and bridges that sort of connect out. Some of them very wide sweeping to create like massive plazas that are essentially built like a bridge in between sections of like the hills here. So it's a very strangely flat terrain, more so than expected. There are some ramps and inclines and stuff, but it's very built in to the terrain here, creating a bit of a top and bottom section. You guys would see there would be stairs that would lead down to sort of a subterranean sect of the city that's sort of loosely built into the hills, but more like undersow bridges and into the actual foundations that what would be like the top layer of Silk Meadow. And sort of poking around again, a lot of the shrubbery and trees here, they would sort of reflect the current time of year, being sort of mid to late-ish fall. There'd be a beautiful like browns and like oranges to a lot of the leaf colors here, creating a very just like autumn atmosphere as you guys begin to walk through. There's a few banners and a few like streamers currently being set up as if a celebration is incoming. Without much work, you guys would learn of the last harvest that's coming up, sort of a end of fall celebrations, more of a halfling culture thing, being only just a couple of days away, maybe like 3 or 4-ish days at this point. After kind of getting a lay of the land, you guys would find a few good key spots to begin hopefully drumming up business in strategic ways, seeing as you guys only have a couple hours here in Silk Meadow, optimally anyway. So we'll do some skill checks real quick. Each of you guys pick a skill, any skill that you'd like, and tell me how you want to apply it to sort of the first half-ish of your time here in Silk Meadow. How it maybe applies to maybe something that you want to do, or maybe something that just helps the group drum up business that could hopefully help out with some roles later on in the day.
Can I parkour around?
Yeah.
Cosplay.
Yeah.
It'll be nice to stretch my legs, I think.
If anything, Brett's more just thinking about getting a good stretch in, but it's gonna inconsequentially get people to notice him and be like, "What the fuck?"
They're like, "What are you doing up there?" And he's like, "Go to the town square at 6:30 to find out."
I love it. I love it. So sort of branching off from the party, as we would see, again, you five sort of walking through, Elodie included, Liliana departing, going on her own ways to hopefully find some spell work or magic components. And so you just sort of like, I'm assuming you let the party know before you just, start doing your normal Brett thing.
Yeah, but he's already like stretching and starting to jog in place as he's like, "Guys, actually, I have a great idea."
I love it. I love it. Give me either an athletics or an acrobatics check, unless you had something else in mind for it.
Oh, that's what I was thinking. Does that work?
Shoo. Oh, that's
A 19.
natural 19.
Oh boy.
Plus
For
9.
28.
Impressive.
Blame yo, Hotman.
I mean, paint us a picture here. Like, what's Brett looking like as he sort of traverses this? Again, it's more flat than you maybe expect as you sort of come in, seeing the hills. But just because of how close some of the buildings are and pathways, it's surprisingly flat in sections. Again, there are some inclines, declines. There's an even like upper area, like up on top some of the hills. But yeah, it's pretty great for what you're trying to do, honestly.
Yeah, if anything, it could be like a little more challenging, but actually, no, he's gonna look on the bright side of this, and it's great news, because like some of these buildings are a little delicate compared to like the large stone structures of Strixhaven, so it's fun to like go about it and try to have a more delicate hand, so to say, because this is like people's personal property.
Yeah, for sure.
100%. And I think, Brett's conscientious enough to acknowledge that. But he's also like trying to have fun with it, and since it's pretty predictable, like he can just glance forward and see, long stretches of flat area to work with, so much room for activities.
Mm-hmm.
So he's throwing in a lot more like handsprings and like cartwheels and like little flair kind of stuff. Since this is an acrobatics role, we'll say it's much more like he's playing with his acrobatic spell casting, which is not so much something he can do in the fighting room on the ship.
I was about to say, are you like throwing in little spurts of flames every now and then?
Absolutely, up into the air, away from the buildings and whatnot.
Of course, responsible flame use.
Responsible flame use. It's part of the gig from the day you're born.
I love it. I love it. Sort of making your way across this sort of sprawling cityscape here, drumming up as much business as you can.
And he's got his costume on and stuff.
Yeah. Full regalia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who wants to go next? Who else has a skill they want to apply to sort of helping drum up business for the big show later?
Marius.
Fly
I don't know,
pretty
man.
boy.
I got a weird feel with this shitty roll.
Performance.
Yeah, I'll do performance.
You got it.
Performance.
Just
If
go real
you're
climb.
doing like shows of some kind, Aelity can tag along, give you advantage since it's kind of been her job over the past couple of stops. It's very much like supporting musician for like your lead, essentially.
Yeah. His normal bouginess and we cast, light of the loot. Get all bougie and fancy.
Yes.
Wait, can I roll loot?
As
Or
Yeah,
performance?
yeah. You can roll loot specifically if you want. Give it advantage since you'll have Aelity there, sort of like playing drums back up.
with the first couple notes, Gale will like get the wind to sweep in Marius's direction, kind of guiding everyone's attention.
Very anime.
Ooh, is that going to be like Gale's skill contribution to it?
Yeah.
Yeah. What sort of skill you want to apply to that?
Persuasion?
Persuasion. I'll give you a normal persuasion.
Okay.
I'll give you a normal persuasion.
Oh no.
That is
Fucking dust in my eye. I can't see anything.
maybe that is part of it. Maybe you're knocking up like leaves and stuff. It's maybe sort of these like almost like outdoor, like not really picnic areas, but there are like picnic-esque tables in this almost like food court area. You guys maybe be passing through. Maybe knocking some leaves into food and drink. Maybe disturbing a few people like unnecessarily.
Whoops. She's gonna stop.
There's no such thing as bad publicity.
That's what I was about to say. People definitely were paying attention to what Marius was saying, as you got some dirty looks, but they were definitely eyes on you nonetheless.
My man.
I love it. I love it. I mean, last but not least, Kellen, what are you doing with this first portion-ish of the day as you guys are drumming up business?
He would go and try to figure out what like the most popular spot in town was. Try to figure out where the most people hang out and stuff. So I think he would do an investigation.
Ooh, I love it. Give me an investigation
Hello,
check.
my fellow youths. Where's the party at?
As you're sort of poking around, maybe trying to gather some useful intel for you guys and where your performance could be. There are several different spaces you could find. There's actually like a handful of these like put in place. It's like an auditorium or like an outdoor stage, if you will, where there's kind of like a ring of like bench like stair seats that sort of curve around that descend up maybe 6 or 7 flights before there's a bit of a lip that sort of comes up to the rest of the ground, and like in the pit is this like wide base performing area. So there's a few of these like open performance theaters of sorts that are purposely made. A few of them being used up. As you see, there would be a few performances. There'd be like a current theater piece going on, detailing a particularly brutal retelling of some legends of the Blood Age. Again, over 800-ish years ago.
You suck.
There's several taverns. There are some actual like theaters, like closed door, like large theaters for various different showings. With the 12, it's hard to exactly determine what would be like the best spot, because there's kind of a few of them. Again, there's a lot of those like open picnic areas that you saw. There's like 3 or 4 of those nestled about the place. None of them seemed particularly packed compared to the others.
Yeah. Well, I'll go back to the group and tell them what I found and tell them that some of these spots might be good. And I mean, Brett and Marius are more of the brains of this operation. So.
I mean, it makes sense. And we'll say all of this, including Brett's like parkouring he's doing around getting the word out. A little bit of showmanship tucked in there. Maybe it's been about like an hour and a half-ish or so. You guys may be coming back to a meeting point you guys designated. Everyone's sort of returning, various states of success. Brett, everyone was very receptive. They loved the showmanship and the athleticism that you were putting into it. Again, Marius, some people seemed intrigued, maybe for better or worse intention. Kellen, yeah, a lot of different spots you guys could set up shop.
I found the spots, guys. I found them. I found some. I found some spots, guys.
I like to think Gail went up to somebody whose like drink she knocked over. Is like, oh, sorry, hazelnut cream coffee. They're like, I have a nut allergy. Okay.
Marius, maybe we should go to the meeting
So,
spot
no.
now. I love that. All right. And again, that's sort of like the loose first half-ish day. Again, you guys usually hope to spend like 3-ish hours in a city. Again, that could be extended by a little bit or reduced by some, up to you guys. But what would our party like to do after, a pretty good round of getting the word out, sort of for the group collectively?
I mean, we said we would do 2 little pre-shows and then our evening show, right?
Yeah. One like a tavern and one just kind of more like a city square, like a little street performance.
Well, I found spots for all of those. Haha.
Yeah, I guess we should go there.
Perfect. That makes sense. Kellen having a few spots, a little bit of word getting out. So collectively, each of you guys will come together, go to maybe 2 or 3 of these spots, not trying to spend too much time at any particular one, but enough to drum up at least a small crowd, get some interested eyes. For this one, we're going to do a straight up performance check across the board.
Okay.
This will be sort of a group check just to see how this first teaser show goes. 22.
You got it,
from
guys.
Brett.
Hey.
Hey.
Uh,
Not bad rolls.
And again, since Aelidy's there, I'll let one of you guys take essentially, like, I guess we'll call it a re-roll, but it's advantage. You can take whichever one is the higher of the two. Since
Marius,
I
take
think-
it.
Yeah, because they also were doing stuff together like last session, so it makes sense.
yeah, that makes sense. Oh,
13.
we'll take a 13.
Elodie is not a team player.
If you play this game loot one more time, I will Eldritch Blast.
Yeah. Aelity just gets a little too into it, starts banging a little too loud, gets maybe overcomes the loot at important sections.
That's
But
what drops our core.
Ambiance.
overall, again, not bad. Not bad. Brett, Gale, you guys really coming through with your sections. Again, teasing some sword play, teasing a little bit of the magic work you guys are hoping to pepper in. As you guys finish off this, you move on to the next spot.
See, it's a good thing that this was a good practice run, guys.
It's a good practice run. It's a good practice run. At
Goatee. Oh shit.
teaser number 2, each of you guys can pick any skill you'd like besides performance for this one. Any skill
I'll
you'd
go persuasion.
Acrobatics.
I never roll good persuasion. It doesn't even make sense because it's the same as my performance.
Nice. Twisty, aka Kellen, with a solid 17.
Is this in relation to our performance?
I mean, you
Or
can
just in
pepper it
general?
however you'd like. I don't want that to impede your choice too much, because it could be something maybe you do even before or after the show to help out.
I hypnotize the audience.
How can I use Eldritch Blast right now?
I destroy all the other venues in town. So.
I do sleight of hand and I slip Marius some pixie dust before the performance.
That's so many good ideas, guys.
It's the street version of fairy dust. It's cut with all sorts of other magical crap.
Mostly baby laxatives.
A lot of
I
big
guess-
God.
Can I do insight to see like how receptive they are to these teasers that we've given so far, and like should we stick with the script? Should we change it up? Like,
I like it. I'm down. What skill you want to put on that?
insight.
Insight. Hell yeah. Ooh, a 12. It's hard to tell because it's not like they're disinterested. You are drawing somewhat of a crowd thus far. Maybe you're trying to pick this up. And then maybe at the beginning, mid-performance, even like parts of the end, you're drawing a crowd, just not as much at the moment. There's some hard competition around here to compete with. Again, there's like that open performance of the Blood Age. There's maybe another musical performance not too far away. Ooh, an Arcana for Marius, a natural 20 Arcana.
Oh fuck! Oh fuck!
Wow, natural 20. How are you applying this
45.
Arcana to this performance, my good sir?
He's just using a lot of minor illusion to make it sound like more people are clapping and cheering behind the crowd, and like adding extra little like noises and background music.
I love that.
You know, like someone's just like way in the back, just a random voice, like, "Oh God, this is so great! I can't wait for the performance tonight."
Marius is so hot.
And again, you guys have Aelity there, so one of you guys can take a reroll, taking the higher of the two rolls.
I'll reroll since mine's the
Yeah,
lowest.
reroll that persuasion.
Yeah.
Let me try again. Someone tell me what to say.
You just hear the whispering words of Gale in your ear.
I'll burn my shirt off if you show up to the show.
It's a lady.
Oh no!
And
no.
even worse, the universe is balanced with a natural 1.
Maybe I'll just stick to handstands.
We'll stick to everything. Try to keep your mind, maybe making your moves extra tight and crisp, trying not to think too much.
Is that the guy that singed your roof?
And this the second little teaser here would sort of come to a close. The small audience you guys did accrue, maybe 30, 40 individuals, even though there are, again, a lot of people passing around, a lot of commerce, a lot of activity here in Silk Meadow. You guys have essentially one more teaser that you had sort of set up. This one hopefully being enough to really push it for the last one. You feel like these past two teasers, they've just been like good but not great. You think
Great.
you think you have put in the work to at least get a fair audience, but this last one could be the difference between a giant crowd or just like a middle of the road crowd.
Great performances, guys. We're gonna bring it home now. Let's fuck, I do this.
Let's do it. And so this round for number 3, we'll go back to pure performances for everyone. And again, Aelity is there if someone wants to take it either before or after the roll. Either's cool.
Decent rolls for Mr. Twisty here. Not too bad.
That's
16.
good. We got 2 solid rolls so far, 21 to 16.
I'm sorry. We all rolled performance.
Yeah, we're all doing
Somebody. Okay.
another performance for this last
for a
little teaser.
25. And
Marius, roll
Marius
again.
is taking advantage.
Marius takes Aelity's advantage.
We're coming full
Pixie
circle.
dust. Oh God!
He got a 9 last time too.
Yeah, oh my God. Maybe it's Aelity that's dragging the shit.
Get off my- Back up. God damn.
I mean,
need
out of our
stage
whole
presence.
group, though, like, I'm pretty sure they're the one that's, like, would be the least performing.
That is very true, actually.
So I'm just keeping it low key until tonight so I can really shine. I don't want to wear out my fingers.
Exactly. You're not trying to put in too much effort. That's what really matters. You're still passable,
I'm going for a real grunge vibe. Purposely lazy.
But I mean, with that, it's probably one of your guys' best sort of like teaser sort of shows so far. That small, middling crowd of about 30, maybe gets closer to 50, 60-ish people by the end of the show, ending on this high note as you guys come to a performance. Everyone cheering, clapping, as you guys, again, hold your coin. We're having a grand performance. At this point, it's probably been another like hour and a half. You're starting to reach that like 2-hour point at this point. So you guys have been in town for getting close to 3.5 hours. What would you guys like to do? Performance coming to an end, the crowd dispersing. You would hear murmurs. You guys have sown some intrigue here. A little halfling couple nearby, probably like mentioning that they're excited. They may have to go tell their kids about it, and little bits of chatter here or there.
We gotta start wrapping up, I think. Do our final show.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Are we doing our
You'll get
our
ready
like
for
normal
tonight.
big performance? Are we doing something different?
We're doing the Kraken story. We're doing the combat
Mhm.
Kraken.
Combat Kraken story. All right. So you guys maybe take a brief break, 10-15 minutes, just to sort of cool off, get some water. Any particular venue that you guys had in mind? Again, you had this sort of like open theaters out there. There were a few food courts. There was like maybe a couple squares you could even pop up in. You get a few options.
Do an investigation to see which place we think was going to be the best after the 3 performances, or after the 2.
I'll give you one more investigation to see if you can sort of gauge which one may be the most beneficial.
Fuck, that's a 10.
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell because you think what made the last teaser so great was your guys' performance. So, I mean,
Right.
does the locale matter? I mean, who knows? Only time will
I
tell.
don't know. You tell me, Brett. Does it matter? Like, does it matter where we do this?
I think we should do it in the outdoor theater because anyone who's curious about the performance, that would probably be their first gut guess as to where to go.
Marius opinions.
I like that. Plus, being open, the sound can travel. Maybe shoot some shit off into the sky.
And we can do our
Oh,
aerial
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, lots more magic potential.
Hmm.
Gail, you like this?
Yeah. Sounds good.
I don't
Nice
know.
and
I don't
open
like the
space.
hesitation. I don't like the
Yeah.
hesitation in your breath there, breath taker.
Yeah,
What?
Twisty. Wait, Tempest. Shit.
I was just thinking about something else. Sorry, guys.
On a big day like today, Gail, you should.
I can have multiple things on my mind. Okay.
You'll have no other thoughts. Storm's off. Sorry. It's notoriously difficult.
That's her job.
Yeah, that's
Storms
my
off.
job.
Storm.
All right. If there's nothing else you guys wanted to do, you guys would make your way to what you believe would be the best locale.
Is there a
Begin.
diamond dealer here?
I mean, you're hoping to use your time to find such a thing?
No, I'm just kidding. Isn't what's her face shopping around?
Yeah, Liliana.
Okay. I didn't know how much we had to look for this. Then
Okay.
no, he's
You guys would begin setting up shop. I mean, each of you, begin doing some call outs, beginning to draw in that initial crowd. Again, just letting them know that the performance is ready to begin. A fair crowd is sort of pulled in initially, and it gets underway. The first round of this, each of you guys make a performance check. The DC is going to be a 14 this first round. Looking for at least 2 of you to pass. 14 or higher. Performance check.
We got this, guys.
16.
Oh.
Gale.
Is this for the show?
Yeah, this is the sort of the like beginning portions of it as the first section of crowd has begun to come on, and you guys have done your more drawn out introduction, hoping to pull even more people in.
So I can roll for my instrument.
I'll let you roll for your instrument. That sounds fair enough.
Oh,
Wow.
Nice. You guys easily getting through this first portion. You guys do have an advantage still, if you guys would like to use it, because Ailady is still present.
Do we only get one for the whole performance?
For each check, because she's there. She's participating.
Well,
Because
then I guess I'll re-roll that.
Get a Tempest.
Better.
better, but it would definitely seem that Brett / Flamio and Strings / Marius would be carrying a lot of this. But, Twisty / Kellen, yeah, he's putting in work. Now getting to the next section. I kind of like last time with the teasers. Pick any skill you guys would like besides performance. The DC is a 15 for this one.
I think with that last performance not being so great, Gail's gonna kind of take a little bit of a step back, like while the performance is going on. She did like the introduction bit. She's gonna take a page out of Marius's book and like minor illusion, some extra like clapping and hollering in the crowd. So deception.
Ooh, I like it. And Brett Flamio with a nat 20, by the way. Wild shit.
Yeah.
Insane.
I kind of like lost my train of thought while speaking because I saw that. I was like, oh.
So many nat 20s and nat 1s so far. What the hell?
Yeah.
Typical.
Okay.
Nice. Gale
18.
playing into her strong suits with an 18. Let's go.
Twisty would use Arcana. He would use the psionic powers to embolden a Kraken-like aura around him to give it more of that illusion for the performance.
Ooh.
Try to make it look like you got extra tentacles.
20.
Nice. 20. And strings, you could take the reroll with that one.
Hell yeah.
Let's see how high we get, because that's
Hey,
14. 14.
That's the DC.
I think it's 15.
This one was 15.
Yeah.
But still,
Still better.
Picking up the pace. And you guys get to the last section. This will do our last section of rolls. And the DC on this one is going to be a 16. Performances across the board. And one of you can have advantage before the check. Performances. One of you get advantage before the roll, and then you guys will still have abilities after the fact if you even need it. DC 16.
Who has the lowest?
Do we get to choose our rolls?
No, this is
I think it's me and Kellen at 3.
Yeah, that's me
Either one of you.
and Breathtaker. I mean, shit. Breathtaker take it before?
Yeah, I took the reroll afterwards.
No, I'm
From
saying
ability.
just
Oh,
do it
okay.
before-
Yeah.
before the second.
An offer.
Yeah.
An
Not a
offer you
statement.
can refuse.
I hear you, but no thank you.
17.
Woo,
Let's
woo.
go. Good roll. 16.
Woohoo.
That's 3
This-
successes. That is
Yay!
I guess at this moment,
Oh.
Gail's like narrating like the finale, the final battle.
uh-huh.
Do we get a reroll for after? Do we get an advantage?
Yeah, you could still use it for sure.
Alright, take it.
Oh, Gail's like kicked up the wind and is like making it seem like there's like a storm going on,
Oh.
Oh no, we'll stick with that other one.
Should I improvise, everyone?
Brett, it may even be slightly humbling just seeing how far your friends have come in this performing endeavor you guys have been getting into. Because it was kind of like you and Marius were the ones calling some shots, and Marius, of course, playing amazingly, but Gail and Kellen are just killing it as well. And maybe that's why you falter ever so slightly. Still, meeting the DC, but not doing as good as you could.
Maybe you trip backstage, but nobody notices.
They think it's a joke.
Backstage,
Everyone
there's
laughs.
no stage, but like.
And as the show comes to a performance, the large crowd you guys have drawn in begins erupting in cheers. It would probably go on for a good minute, to the point where you maybe feel obligated to do a bow, even like a group bow, maybe a first so far, as this is arguably one of the largest crowds you guys have drawn thus far on your sort of trip here.
Woo.
I don't know if Gail would think about that.
Very fair. Very fair.
You know,
Brett would, but can I roll like a wisdom check?
Yeah, you can roll a wisdom check. What are you trying to figure out here?
Oops, not that. I'm trying to figure out if it's a good idea to go out there. Like, how long have they been performing? Like, how long have they been in the city? Like, is he keeping track of time right now, or is he wrapped up in the feeling like he's performing again? Like, 'cause he is, but I mean, like, it's
Yeah.
one of his favorite things, the crowd.
Totally fair.
You're back in your comfort zone. Have you let your guard
Mhm.
down or not?
That makes
Yeah.
sense. That makes sense. You decide the DC. You decide how that one plays out. I love that.
We'll say 14 and up, he passes. Yeah.
I'm 18. Hell yeah.
They're calling for like an encore, or like, we want to see you, blah 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 blah, and he's just like, we gotta go. I need to go tell Quent how the performance went.
Just since there's a large crowd of people around, can Kellen just do an investigation? You know who he's looking for.
You can
And
give
we need
me-
to collect the money.
Give me a
Yeah, as-
perception check.
As Gale brings up the helpful assistant in a little pouch. Yes, thank you.
Smile.
Hurry quickly. We must be off.
Normal roll.
Normal perception check, my good sir.
Oh, fuck me.
For there is a pretty big crowd here, as you're sort of maybe fully taking it in from like this loose backstage area, this open like amphitheater style that you guys would currently be in. It's a lot of people. That's maybe as the unseen servant that Gale cast would return the money in hand.
Can I expend a psionic die to do an arcana to see if I can pick up any magical readings?
Ooh. I'll allow it. Burn one of those and give me an arcana check, my good sir.
Ooh,
Better.
21.
way better.
There's a magic presence here. It's overwhelming. You don't know what that is. It feels positive. Maybe it's the large group of people. Maybe it's the general vibe of this place. But I mean, nothing too wildly out of the ordinary.
No chaos magic.
No chaos magic.
Well,
Not
fine.
that you could
then.
tell. Not that you could
Fine.
tell.
If I find you, I'm get you. I'm get you.
Fair enough. So for the victory, each of you guys roll me 2 D100s.
Ooh.
2
Our-
D100s, essentially like advantage.
Our fearless leaders.
Oh, I didn't realize it would combine them like that. At least it shows them individually.
Wait, all of us?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
each of
I'm
us.
sorry.
Everyone will essentially take the highest D100 and we'll add 40 to it. 10 per each of you.
Oh,
Okay.
we like an 80.
We'll take that 80. And again, adding 10 gold pieces for each of you as just sort of like a guaranteed fun. Because again, you guys had a great performance. That's 120 gold pieces added into the group fund.
Woohoo!
Is anyone trying to take a piece of this 120 gold before you guys get back to the ship as you quickly kind of like loosely pack up the minor things you may have had in this very loose backstage area? It's very open back. You could sort of see parts of the city out further. So you guys are pretty easily able to like grab anything you may need, hop a ledge, and sort of skitter off into the city.
Nah, I'll even pad it with an extra 20 gold.
140 gold pieces.
Yeah, Gail took some from the last couple, so she's okay right now.
Good. I held down a job for a while.
Let me add that to our group fund here. Boop. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. You guys would go across the cityscape here. There would even be like a few people out and about that would maybe like inquiry about the performance and if it's still happening, and probably having to assure them that they did sadly miss it. But it's kind of showing you guys did leave somewhat of an impact here with this particular show. Again, one of the best of these stops so far. Solid show.
Could Kellen slink off maybe and try to find a shop where he might be able to try to like sell some stuff real quick?
Like you want to like head out from the group like separately?
Yeah, just for like a quick second.
Sure. Are you trying to like purposely stealth off, or is this just like, taking a step off from the group?
He is purposely trying to like just slink away really quick.
Yeah. Roll me a stealth check, my good sir.
Ooh, that's bad.
I'm assuming everyone's passive perception is above a 7.
It's higher than 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys would probably see that. You guys go to turn a pretty sharp corner to begin heading towards the dry docks. And Kellen probably tries like a slick peel off from the group down an alley, but all of you can easily see him like attempt to like slink away stealthily.
It's a shit on something.
Fuck.
Guys.
Oh, fuck.
Gail's just gonna look at the group like, you think it'll be fine?
Should we go alone right now?
Gail grabs the earring and you just hear the wind in your ear, Kellen. Hey, where you going?
Just going to sell some stuff. I'll be like just a couple minutes.
I guess if we have a way to communicate if he needs help or something goes south, then
I mean,
I
this
think
only only goes so far. Pointing to the earring.
he's
Yeah,
a man.
well, you'll hear it one more time. Why don't we just wait right here for you?
Yeah,
That's fine. Again, just a couple minutes.
we'll do that.
All right. As we see
You guys hungry? Is there a little thing we can get some snacks?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the four of
Street
you
food.
would maybe be like looking around. There would maybe be like a tavern nearby, giving it a once over and making your way there. As Kellen, you peel off from the group. Where are you going? What are you trying to sell?
So he has a few items that he wants. So just like anybody to look at, wherever he thinks that like he can make some coin real quick for selling some shit.
It just sort of depends what you're trying to sell. There's a lot of different shops here.
He's got the medallion of maze walking that he can't use anymore. He's got the silver quill primer to see if he can get rid of that. The Strixhaven pennant, the cuddly Strixhaven mascot.
What the fuck? Those are memories.
Getting rid of all of it.
Gotta get rid of it, man.
Everything Lorhol said about you was true.
You're a Judas.
Fair enough. Just expedite time. You do happen to know maybe a spot or two. You can maybe pawn some of this stuff off.
Cool.
So what exactly was the entire list? Give me a not quite so fast. Just let me make sure I know what we're getting rid of here.
The medallion of maze walking. The silver quill primer. The Strixhaven pennant. And the cuddly Strixhaven mascot.
Okay. A couple shopkeeps that you go to. Again, you maybe were eyeing these places. You were looking for a few spots for you guys to perform, taking note of where you could have stopped by. Pawning everything. The medallion and the primer are probably the most expensive. The primer going for about 120 gold pieces, while only able to get 60 gold. Unless you wanted to do anything else with it. It would sound like you're not getting as good of a deal on this amulet here as Gail got on her discount, but hey, golden pocket nonetheless.
Yeah, can I try to do like a persuasion or something, see if we can haggle?
I'll give you one blanket persuasion for some of these, and that may up the price across the board, or it may keep it stagnant across the board. Ooh, yes,
That was
yeah.
bad. 8.
Yeah. Thankfully, prices don't go up because of your bad haggling. Or don't go down, I should say, because of your bad haggling.
Poor kid.
So with the medallion and the primer, it's about 180 gold you're looking at. And then for the pennant and the cuddly mascot, you could get about 10 gold per.
You have a deal. I'll take it.
Pawning everything off, maybe taking a little bit longer than expected, maybe 30, 45 minutes, but pocketing collectively 200 gold pieces, getting rid of everything.
Woohoo, 250. Cool.
Yeah.
And then so I'd peel off and I'd go try to find the group and message Gail and be like, yo, I just got some more money.
And
I made in 30 minutes what we made in the entire day of performing.
and you probably like make your way back to that little intersection you left them at, seeing the tavern they went into, and getting close enough in range to use that message spell from the earring. What would our I mean 4, including Aelody, what would our 4 former students be up to in this, kind of like dive bar-y tavern, the Gizzled Guzzard? Yeah, it's only a handful of like bar top seats available. Pretty small bar. Only a couple of booths and like freestanding tables with like long chairs. This place not looking super like halfling friendly, honestly, as it's kind of like a standard build sized place with like tall chairs.
Oh, interesting.
Uh.
Gale definitely would have attempted to try and get something red again and see what happens.
You'd get red wine this time. Thankfully, no red rum being served. Halflings,
Nice.
big fans of wines here. They would probably mention they have like a few different available, of course. So you probably got to like even try a few or like pick a specific one that sounded good. Maybe a nice change from Grumlet.
Nice. She's happily sipping her wine. maybe got some little appetizer or something to snack on.
Yeah,
Oh,
Aelodie's
what
probably
kinda-
joining.
Do you think they'd have like those like fried jalapeno peppers or something?
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah, they probably do. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. You guys get a plate of those, a couple of drinks. Anything specific from anyone else here?
Brett would order whatever could come out the fastest to eat, since Kellen claims he'll only be a few minutes. And he is very hungry after their day of performing, I imagine.
Uh-huh. And it probably starts with like one little quick thing, and then it would maybe progress to like, I guess I'll get something else. It's been like 15 minutes. I'm pretty hungry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably
I guess another bowl of stew. I guess another loaf of bread. Yeah, I guess a sausage. A wedge of cheese, sure.
Yeah.
I guess I'll have another bottle.
I love it. And what about Marius here? What's Marius's vibe?
He's just kind of hitting his endless flask of alcohol.
Oh, that's
yeah.
right. With your favorite whiskey in it.
Yeah.
That's right.
So he probably sips some of that and then just get like a basic like stew and bread. Maybe he'd wait to see what came out first, and then he's just like, maybe after the second order from Brett, he's like, all right, fuck it. I'll take some of that too. And we're still here.
All of a sudden, Kellen gets this weird ping in his mind, and he's like, "Oh, you know what? I should tell Marius about that cask of ale that we have on the ship. I bet you he'd like that."
Oh yeah.
You guys have what was its exact name? Let me see. I had it in my notes.
Red Rock Special.
I think it was the Red Rock Special. It was like butterscotch
sounds
flavored
right.
ale. Yeah, butterscotch dark lager is essentially what it was.
Oh. Yeah, Umric is a brewer.
Mm-hmm.
Been keeping this from me this whole time.
They made a brewer friend. Deal with it.
Andy explores
I'll
ancient cities.
deal with him.
Unfinished business in Grumlet.
Buddy, look over the edge, all the way down there. What does that look like?
We'll save for the three that have been hanging out, maybe a couple of drinks, a little bit of food between each of you. We'll just say a gold piece from each of you. We'll get you guys well taken care of, plus maybe even like a silver tip if you so choose.
No, my even 100 gold.
I'm sorry, how much money?
A gold.
Only a gold.
Never. I'd rather die.
This place is not too upscale. You're getting good food and good drinks, but nothing amazing. Not a great atmosphere. A little bit of a dingy smell, almost like a damp wood musk to this place.
Does Aelity drink wine?
Aelity is probably sitting across from you, partaking in like the fried jalapeno poppers, and she was probably doing like a couple of the wine experiments with you. She probably would land on like a rosé, a little red-white combo.
A little lighter. Okay.
45 minutes of that passes. You guys have been sitting here. A few patrons have come and gone. I guess maybe have like a few empty like either glasses or tankards in front of you. Maybe even like a discarded bowl or plate from bread or some sort of stew. And finally, who were you messaging there, Kellen, when you like pointed in and called out like the fucking
Gail.
bankroll?
Yeah, with the because she has the other earring.
Well, technically, it just allows you to cast the message cantrip, so you can really message anybody.
Oh, well, Kellen doesn't know that, so he assumes the only person that he can message is Breathtaker, so...
It's a beautifully, maybe lightly startling Gale as you hear Kellen's elated voice just into your mind.
Hey, Windbag. I just made 200 gold. I made, like, almost double what we made for the entire day in, like, 45 minutes. But I'm on my way back. You can respond to this message.
Yeah, I know you can. That's great news. What do you want to eat or drink?
Just give me what everybody else is having. I'll be there. I'll be there in a little bit. Where are you guys?
We're in the what's the name of this tavern again, Brett?
I
I didn't want to come up with a name.
Sorry, I don't
told the name,
remember.
I don't remember.
It's the
I mean, there was when we were coming in, there
I
was
couldn't remember the name.
the Gizzard's Guzzle, and I saw the Slagtooth Horn Hollow, and then I think there was one more, which I can't remember the name of that one. But are you guys at one of the other two?
The Gizzard's Guzzard.
Mhm.
Okay.
Over here.
I don't think that's the name of it, but I'll be right there.
And luckily, I mean, because that message range is only like 100 and something feet, so you were basically at the intersection, used it, and they were thankfully super close by. As you kind of look over, like, oh, right there. Stepping in again, that sort of dank wood, almost like yeast, like beer smell hits your nose. Sitting at one of the high top tables in the middle of the room, you see your 4 friends, a few other patrons milling about. Barkeep probably hollers at you to get a table.
No, I've got my friends are already here, so I'll just join them over there.
Oh,
Thanks, man.
Sure, yeah.
Gale's waving over.
Yeah, and and Kellen like stumbles or not stumbles, but like wanders on over there and just like drops the bag of gold on the table, and he's like, haha, I got rid of all my Strixhaven shit. I mean, the before place shit.
Nice.
I don't
Also,
know.
I just had a random thought with this. I think with the replies to your message, it would be in your head, like you respond, or like
Yeah.
how you send it. But if Gale's initiating it, then it's like on the wind.
Oh.
Yeah,
Nerd.
which is a fun little detail.
You got rid of all your Strixhaven shit? Like, oh,
Yeah,
I mean,
the before place. Yeah. I was like, well, maybe there may be like tracking stuff on it. the school's using to track us with and stuff. So I was like, it's probably a good time to get rid of the shit, right? And plus, they gave us a lot of gold for it. Like, I was actually way surprised that they wanted to give me as much gold for these things. But I don't know.
What if like someone uses it to track you though? Like,
Well, how are they gonna? I don't have it on me anymore. So how are they gonna track me?
You just
well,
sold
because you like
Clue.
used to have it. I don't know. I don't know that kind of magic. I'm more good at like that
Well, I mean,
kind of magic.
Yeah, me too.
I
So
I
don't know.
identified all my things. I didn't find a tracking spell on any of my Strixhaven stuff.
I don't know, man. I was just, maybe it's just paranoia or whatever. But I mean, more gold for the mission, right? Like, this just gets me closer to having more tattoos.
I mean, that's good.
I pet my cuddly mascot in my pocket and just say to myself, I'll never get rid
I could maybe part with some of the other things, but that primer, I mean, I wouldn't be able to identify without it.
Yeah, I already have things like now that me and Boris. Hey, Boris, how you doing? Are you still doing okay up there?
And you'd hear the voice probably creep into the back of your mind. Yes. What have you been up to? You've been rather quiet today.
I mean, we're just like we were just trying to get some money and stuff. We're trying to get some supplies together so that we can do some magic tattoos on ourselves.
That sounds rather taxing.
Yeah, kind of. The performances are making us money, but not as much as I wanted us to. But that's
it.
okay.
Oh my.
I was never one for performances personally.
I mean, isn't that kind of like what no, I'm not gonna go there. Never mind.
I forget. Are you still talking out loud to him, or?
Yeah. Yeah, just talking out loud to myself in the tavern in front of everybody.
Gail's just gonna put her hand on your hand and be like, you do know you could just like, and she like points at her head, like, you just think it.
I mean, yeah, but it feels like, but this way you guys at least know, like, I'm talking to him and stuff, like, and you know what we're saying. Well, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but if anybody's watching you, you seem a little crazy.
I mean, I look a little crazy too, so I mean, if people look, they're just gonna like be like, "Oh yeah, no, that's probably pretty on point for him."
That tracks.
That dude talks himself for sure.
Also, I've noticed like you only ever seem to message me. Like you do no, you can message anyone with that ring, with the
Wait,
earring.
what?
Right?
No, nobody told me that.
It's fine though. You keep messaging Gail if you want.
He'll like use the earring to start messaging Marius, just see his little thoughts. Penis.
Your tentacles gross me out.
And with that, the scene will sort of fade back, the hour growing long, unless anyone had anything else they were looking to get into. We'll see our party scurry back to the Dragonfly.
You guys want to sell some of your stuff? I know a guy.
I was really looking forward to school. I've saved this health potion since the scavenger hunt on day 1. Because that's when we all became friends.
Hey, me too, man.
It's my lucky health potion.
I also have one health potion. It's like dusty and like kind of separated.
All right. If that's it, we would see our crew return to the ship, boarding the Spelljammer vessel. The sun overhead would be, beginning to like loosely move down. Probably assuming it's pretty close to 3-4 o'clock ish or so. You guys got here semi early, Seeing once you got on board, Liliana, Captain Casper, and the crew would be waiting, ready to depart upon your arrival. Probably after a brief greeting or so, the vessel would begin to sort of thrum to life, gently beginning to list away as various ropes are untied, latching it to the dry dock. And after just a moment, it would gently begin to ascend, taking off from Silk Meadow, moving closer and closer to the sky. And again, returning once more to the ship's common room, seeing the party reconvening, Liliana would go over, the various value that she was able to get for everything that she was looking to sell. Again, she was trying to sell one of the cloaks of elven kind that you guys had picked up in 2 of the potions. Happily reporting that she was able to get about 2,000 gold for those.
Wow.
She's killing a look.
Jesus.
And she would also mention she was able to purchase about 1,200 gold worth of diamond dust there.
Hey.
So let's see. So you guys were after everything. After she was able to purchase funds, you guys have. I haven't added your guys's. What did I say? 140 yet. Let me put that on here.
Yeah.
Oh, but it would be 340 because Kellen threw the 200 in that he got for selling all of his shit.
Beautiful. 340.
Look at how well our performances went.
You guys are killing it so far. So now collectively, after Liliana will let you know what she was able to sell stuff for, and you guys putting in your collective gold, the 340, you guys currently have 1,524 gold in the group fund, and 2,200 or diamond dust worth 2,200 gold pieces. Yeah. And just sort of again updating everyone so that way everyone's in the know. Anything particular, like first actions as you guys get on the ship? Anything immediate you guys would sort of get into just to get like a vibe check? As again, the ship is ascending, beginning to leave Silk Meadow at this point.
I mean, I think habitually Brett kind of reports in with Quent, like, "Hey, we're back from town. We're leaving this place. How are you? I love you." The usual.
And you, holding the sending stone, would send it out, and he doesn't reply. Sometimes during the day, it's hard for him to reply with family or others in the room. But having a feeling, almost knowing that the message got there, you sort of stow the stone. And it's probably a little bit later in the day. The sun is sort of beginning to set. Liliana probably again convening everyone, maybe after dinner sort of vibe. And she would maybe sit down, probably with like maybe a slight grimace. She's not terribly excited, but sort of giving all of you a look. With everything total up, I think we're likely not only still short on components, but I don't feel particularly confident with the spell work we currently have at our disposal. With that, I think we may, have to attempt the casting. If we do attempt the casting, I'm terribly worried about errors, wasting some of our precious components we've been gathering. That's been a fear. And I was speaking with Captain Casper, going back and forth on possible options in our next course, because as you all are probably aware, that was the last planned stop, and then we would evaluate where we were at. I think we may have come up with something. While in Silk Meadow, I wasn't able to find the particular spell branding archetype that I could feel confident manipulating. But I had a thought. I could take our gold and the knowledge of what we're looking for, and I could use my gifts to go to a place that I think may have the information we seek. Now, it's obviously, as you all are painfully aware, I can't use my gifts while we're in movement. But that is where Captain Casper came in, thankfully. He mentioned a small hamlet nearby, a small halfling community, I suppose you could say. He thinks that we could possibly touch down a couple hours outside of this small hamlet. I could use my gifts to go to Ravnica, search through some of their stores, see what I could find, and you lot could maybe make your way to the hamlet and possibly earn some extra coin, maybe even kick your feet up for a change. I think if we take this risk, me going to Ravnica, I think it may yield positive results. Not a guarantee, but I think it may be our best shot. Again, being equal partners in this, I wanted to bring it up to all of you before executing anything. What do you all think of this?
What do you think it'll cost you to get it?
Come on, Breathtaker. It costs her what it costs.
I think that is a very fair question. I do have some former contacts. I wouldn't call them friends in Ravnica. They owe a sort of debt, I suppose you could say. I'll try to call in a favor from them if possible. At least point me in the right direction. I hope not to spend all of our remaining funds on this, but I think it may be prudent. I would be terribly remiss if I made errors in my spellwork calculations and failed. It would be a terrible setback I'm not sure we could handle at this juncture. My current estimations is I would need about 1,000 gold pieces for each casting of the spell I've been tinkering with. Testing it, of course, would be drastic if failure is found.
It's a lot of gold.
Well, then I think that you should probably try to get all the help that you can.
And we'll get all the money we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, high five.
Yeah, we really can't afford to be wasteful with any of this.
Kellen starts like elbowing Aelody and Marius. It's time to pickpocket.
Sounds like a plan.
It sounds like a small town. I don't know if we should do that in a small town.
We don't have to do it in a small town. I'm just saying, like, maybe going forward, because we need to generate a little more gold a little faster.
Pickpocket. Might be nice just to relax for an afternoon
I don't know
maybe take
about
another actual bath.
I don't know, man. I mean, I wasn't swimming for quite a while. I'm feeling pretty refreshed, and anytime that we try to do anything relaxing, you know what happens? Not great things. So I think I'm just gonna like look at the job postings and stuff.
Yeah, we should check them out at least.
That's fair. Arius thinking in the back of his mind, he's still gonna take it.
Gale really wants a bath. It's been weeks.
So it's Kellen likes to swim in box. It's not like it comes out smelly any better.
Hey, that underground temple water cave was very pristine. Thank you.
That's probably the cleanest water you've been in recently.
It is the cleanest water I've been in thus far.
Wasn't it like crystal clear?
It was very refreshing.
And with that, Liliana would give a confirming nod, her expression sort of changing, a bit more resolved now, sort of having you guys on board and having a bit more of a clear plan. Excellent. I will let Casper know immediately, and we'll get things sorted. I believe he said it was about a day or so south from here. Still in the Silk Meadow, I guess, general vicinity, you could say, but fairly out of the way. It's not particularly a well-known destination. Not on many maps, as Captain Casper so pleasantly put it. Hopefully giving all of you a little reassurance while you're there that it is not quite a sprawling location. If you thought Brenshire was small, this place supposedly will put it to shame. Again, as Captain Casper lovingly put it. Right.
Well, hopefully we won't need more than one in this time.
Exactly. Very well. Then she would sort of stand up and begin to leave this sort of common room area that you guys would all stand in, making her way to the front deck to inform Captain Casper what's going on. Anything particular for you guys, either in this moment or in the next? It's almost like a day and a half-ish of travel ahead of you.
Yeah, Gail's got something.
What's Gail getting into?
So, you remember those pears?
I do. You got those pink pears you guys picked up in your dungeon dive, so to speak.
I like to think that Gail stowed them where we keep the rest of our food. Probably had like one kind of like the next day or so, and then has kind of just left the rest to see what's gonna happen. Are they actually gonna start rotting? Like, she's way too curious. She's like, I don't know.
I love that. Sort of specifically putting them up somewhere. I mean, so far over the past maybe week or so, probably a little bit under a week, honestly, they seem perfectly fine. And even over the next day or day and a half-ish of this course, they seem fairly fresh still, as you sort of check them periodically every now and again to see if they're getting even extra spongy.
And nobody else has stolen any of them.
I'm not sure. I don't think anyone else would. Kellen maybe.
Yeah, I was like, Kellen ate one.
Kellen maybe. I don't know if anyone else would, but yeah.
Okay.
All
I
right.
don't think Brett would take it.
Nah. Your spongy pears.
Kellen would check
No, they're
up
not
on
spongy.
fruit every once in a while, because he's also interested in what Gail's interested. And so if at any point he saw like signs of it starting to like break down, he would probably take one.
Fair
if
enough.
at any sign.
Fair enough.
They've become sentient.
I love how we probably have you guys like checking it at like opposite times to where you're both doing the same experiment without knowing.
Yeah.
But again, over the maybe close-ish to a week since you guys have picked these up, I mean they're still good. They're still good even after this next course of travel.
Why won't you ferment?
Anything else from anyone over this brief stint?
Brett would just be doing lots of training. I think this is a great opportunity for him to, because I think a lot of his fighting foundation was show fighting. So then, like, once he was doing real fights in like softball and the arena and stuff, he just had to sort of follow through.
Mm-hmm.
And so now he's learning like the next step beyond that. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And again, you're training with a few different members of the Blades of the North. They're like rotating the three of them out, so you're getting a pretty well-rounded run at it. You're definitely able to sort of work out that style you're hoping for.
Nice.
If there isn't anything else from anyone, the next day or so of travel south from Silk Meadow would be fairly brisk. The weather probably growing a little bit colder, a little bit chillier. The dragonfly sort of crossing the grassy plains, reaching the distant woods known as the Prime Forest, and sort of landing in this tucked-in glen amongst the late fall trees. Again, seeing that those various shades of brown and oranges that sort of mix to create this autumn atmosphere throughout the entire forest that you're currently landing in, as the dragonfly ship's legs touch down and the torso beginning to descend as it touches ground as well and sort of comes to a full standstill, those wings sort of tucking in more along its torso, creating this, sort of fairly concealed looking spot that it holds here in this semi-open glen you guys managed to park in. After all of you sort of come up to top deck, you would see Liliana would be there to meet you all. Captain Casper probably there in hand, maybe one of the other blades nearby as well up here. Liliana giving you all a sort of brief goodbye before she would vanish. And this sort of brief plume of, blackish purplish like mist, leaving our group on deck with Captain Casper. And he would sort of give you all a look. All right. The Blades and I will hold down the ship. If any of you want to stay behind, feel free to go for it. We may actually get a little bit of shut-eye for a change. Should be pretty nice. Settlement, Himble. That's what it's called, Himble. It's probably a few miles south, I do believe. It's locale. It's a little vague as far as where it could be. We know it's settled around a small lake. Again, maybe 2-3-ish hours from this spot. Basically due south. Again, business just as the same as Bryn Shear. Rules apply. I wouldn't go around talking about spell jammers and such. Best stick to the classic travelers on the road story, huh?
Yes, sir, real captain, sir.
Right. Safe travels, you lot.
real
Looks like you probably got a few hours of daylight ahead of you. It's only a little after midday. As soon as Liliana's back, I'm sure she'll make her way over and get a hold of you guys.
Did we get like a time estimate on how long she might be gone?
She was a little vague on that. I'm sure some of you may be familiar. She said hopefully soon, whatever that means.
I say we check back here tomorrow, just in case.
Fair enough. Well, that sounds like a safe enough call. Again, if you need anything, we'll be here. We may do a little bit of hunting, get a little bit of shut-eye.
What kind of things are you hunting, Captain?
Food. Make some jerky. Gotta get provisions. If you can get it out here, it's basically free money.
Yeah, fair enough.
Very true.
Well, if we find anything, we'll bring it back.
Right. All right. Safe travels, you lot. He sort of gives a raise of the hat as our group sort of descends down from the top of the ship and begins to depart into the Pine Forest. Seeing our party set off through the high-reaching trees, their leaves, again, that various shades of mixed orange and browns. Many fallen leaves pepper the forest floor, creating this slight crunch at times underfoot as you may walk over a few of these. My
father took me hunting once.
That sounds like Gale. I went duck hunting with Dad.
Yeah.
Stayed
It was
in the
us.
RV
It
the
was
whole
us
time.
just shooting lightning at the ducks.
That's awesome.
Or you just left them, then you bring them back.
Yeah.
They're charred. What are they going to do with them?
You need it now.
And from there, you would travel on through this wilderness for roughly 2-ish hours. The forest not being too particularly dangerous thus far. Everyone feeling pretty safe and assured. Again, heading due south, a fairly straight direction as you were given. Can we get some survival or nature checks from everyone as travel sort of begins to teeter on? Again, 2 or so hours passing as you're walking through this beautiful, like, autumn forest, very tall trees.
19.
Nice.
19.
So fitting.
Oh, God.
Oh,
How
beautiful.
did I know? I had a feeling. I was like, this is gonna be terrible. I just know it.
Everything sure looks flammable out here.
Oh, I love it. That seems very fitting for Marius. Seems
So-
pretty fitting.
I've walked through a forest or two.
Mm-hmm.
Remember my dad said something about moss pointing away from water, so
Keep that in mind.
So
So
can
let's
eat it if
remember
we're
that,
thirsty.
everyone.
So we can eat it if we're thirsty.
And as you guys are again walking on, again after about 2-ish hours or so, it'd be Kellen and it'd be Marius. You guys would begin to notice a bit of a lack of animals at this point. You're pretty sure you guys would have noticed when you first touched down a few critters about, seeing a flock of birds take off as you guys descended and landed. Small signs of tracks and maybe even markings left behind. You're pretty sure you saw some of that stuff, but over the past 15 minutes or so, there's a pretty distinct lack of wildlife or signs thereof.
It was quiet.
yeah, it's
But-
nice.
No, like it's really quiet. Like there's no birds chirping in bag.
Should be
Oh.
some noise.
Yeah, that's weird. Now that you mention it, I didn't.
Something spooked.
What's the
Right.
wind like?
Damn
Is
it.
it-
You
Is
tell
it windy at all?
I think they normally chirp in the morning, and right now it's afternoon.
Well, I mean, no, they chirp all the time.
Oh.
We'd see something.
And there would be a cold autumn breeze that would sort of push through the forest.
Is it really strong or just kind of loose breeze?
It's just like a loose breeze, enough to where it would toss or push hair about, but not enough to stagger anyone.
Okay.
I don't know. This place seems weird, guys.
Oh, good thing we're not staying here.
I don't know. It's looks like every other forest I've been in. All three of them.
Yes, so I'm definitely not going to take your word on it.
And after sort of Marius and Kellen sort of calling this out, you guys progressing on, it'd only be another couple of minutes before Kellen, with the highest survival check here, off on one of the trees, you see like some discarded web. And it's sort of like tangled about some of the branches, like middling in. Not enough to raise concern. Another 5-10 minutes. You see a couple more trees that have a few more signs of webbing. And after about 30-ish minutes pressing on, now about 2.5 hours ish into the course, all of you are beginning to notice that there are remnants of webs. Some around the base of trees, some loosely draped across the forest floor, some knotted up atop of the high-reaching branches overhead. But yeah, after about 30-ish minutes pushing ahead from that previous point, there's a strange amount of webs out and about.
I'm starting to like this list.
Yeah, this isn't. I don't like this. She grabs her wand.
I've heard these old ancient folklore stories about these spider people that once existed on the plains, but have since disappeared. Which is
Spider
Spider
people?
people.
Yeah, just some weird old legend. I
Sounds like a conspiracy.
don't know.
The spider people are trying to take over the government.
I mean, there's definitely gotta be some sort of spider problem here, or something.
Does spiders even get that big, man?
Does it strike a chord at all in my vague knowledge from not the before place?
I mean, you know that spiders can make a lot of webs if there's enough little spiders hobbling about to make webs of this size. You wouldn't need to roll anything for that. But nothing else.
There's no magical creatures.
I mean, besides a big magic spider, I mean, off the top of your head.
How flammable does all the trees and stuff work? All the webbing's on.
I mean, fairly flammable.
Like, if I took this enchanted torch out of my quiver of the Wild Mother and turned it on and burned the webs, would it light all the foliage on fire?
Ooh.
Or just the webs?
I would
Should
say
we, should we test it for science?
if if we were
Is
to
this
watch
Kellen
Kellen,
thinking out loud?
if you were to be having this thought, I would say at this year, at this point, being 2 years into Strixhaven, you would know that your enchanted torch doesn't produce heat, doesn't produce an
that's
actual
right,
flame.
Right.
It's just
That's
this
right.
illusionary flame that just gives off this almost unnatural light from it.
But I do have other torches that I purchased.
I'm sure you do. You probably have a fire starter kit in your explorer's pack or something, I would imagine.
Yeah, because I made sure that I purchased some oil flasks and some
Uh-huh.
actual torches and stuff.
It's very true.
It's fall.
Firsthand.
Yeah.
It's probably
I
leaves
know,
Like,
everywhere.
is it a wet fall? Like,
It's pretty dry thus far. Again, there's been a good amount of like
Dreadful.
leaves about the ground, a good crunch underfoot every now and again as you guys are traipsing through the forest for about 2.5-ish hours, roughly at this point.
I'm just saying, guys. Like, I could clear these webs out in a minute, but I also might light the whole place on fire.
Yeah, even though this is the material planes, you have to take the elements very seriously here. Like when I'm in the ocean and I'm like surfing, and then like the water gets me, and I'm like, oh my god, I almost drowned. Like it's sometimes that could be a little intense. And
Well, what if, hear me out, what if I lit all the spider webs on fire and then Gale came in with her wind magic and came and blew it out? Because, wind and fire definitely go great together, right?
Yes. See, I'd probably end up like spreading it.
yeah, like when we
Or-
do our big like fire tornado move, like it's because it gets bigger. So I don't think that would work.
No, that's a bad
Yeah.
idea. You don't like this idea? Marius?
Mm,
Marius, you like this idea?
Marius is probably disinterested. He's maybe just looking about. Chad had to step away for a minute, I think.
Oh, okay.
Should we pause?
Almost. Just a minute. Just a minute.
Oh no.
After only about 5-ish minutes, walking a little bit further, you guys would come across what looks like a dirt path. And sort of looking down both ways, you can see it's like loosely leads back the direction you came, but looking down further south, the direction you were heading down the dirt path, you could see further down the forest opens up. Maybe a couple 100 feet down the path or so. And as you're sort of looking, you can also see a makeshift sign sort of in between you and the opening of the forest. On that sign, it would read Himble. It's sort of like poorly made craftsmanship, a little off kilter, very much like a large, roughly made plank of wood with like a thick post that it's sort of like tied off to.
Does it have cobwebs on it?
And as you're sort of looking down that pathway, not only the sign, but many more of the trees around this sort of opening, this glen you're sort of looking down, are laced with webs. Some of them sort of reaching from the top up down, almost fully engulfing a couple of trees. The tops look like large bushels of branches just covered in webs. Even sections of the forest floor would be fairly covered with webs at certain sections.
Why, Matt? Why?
So my idea's sounding a lot better now, right, guys?
Well, we don't know how in the forest Himble is. What if we set the city on fire? Like, the town.
Windbag, look around, man. Everything's covered in spider webs. We should just burn the whole town down anyway.
It's like weird we haven't seen the spiders yet.
Who cares? This place is fucked. Like, let's just burn it all down to the ground. Let's get back on the ship and let's get the fuck out of here. This looks like a big old nope. No.
I am not liking this.
Like, there's got to be millions of spiders here. Like, millions, Brett. Millions. Look at how everything is covered. Everything is covered.
What if it's just a few spiders who have lived here for a long time?
Yeah, can I see any spiders? Like,
Give me a perception check or a nature check.
pretty much the
Sorry,
same
I
thing.
assumed as we were walking towards the town, we found all these spider webs.
Yes, it kind of became more and more consistent as you are now approaching what you believe is Himble, seeing a little township sign that sort of is in between you and this like opening in the forest, maybe a glen of some kind. It's kind of hard to see from about 120, maybe 200-ish feet away.
Yeah.
We're also at like a split in the path, right?
You guys essentially like came upon the path. You guys were like essentially walking through the forest and sort of came upon this like loose dirt path.
Oh, okay.
So-
Okay. I see.
I vote that we just burn everything down. I vote
We
that
can-
we say fuck this place and just burn it down.
Go plunder the town. Spiders
After
don't
we
need
burn
gold.
it down,
I mean,
we burn it first and then go plunder.
I just feel like maybe this could go really south.
I mean, I don't think I see any spiders, do I?
With the 13,
Yeah.
Brett, you're not seeing any spiders. A lot of webs.
I mean,
Not a whole lot of
maybe they
movement.
killed them all.
If
Or
let's just
maybe
if
the spiders killed everything that lived here. Because again, millions. There's got to be millions of them.
if a fire does break out, are you capable of putting it out, Brett? Or
Oh, I'm better at like setting fires.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Just wanted to double check. Because I mean, I've seen some like fire sorcerers. Like they can literally like snuff a fire out with a thought. So
Well, I mean, I'm not a sorcerer. Technically, I'm a bard.
I'm just a
I'm
fire
just like
genasi,
so
you
good
ignorant.
at magic.
All right.
I say we check it out.
So that's one vote for check it out. That's one vote for burn it down.
I mean, I'm gonna vote check it out with caution.
Deciding factor, Brett.
What? What's your vote? No?
I said burn it down. Let's burn it down. Burn it down. Burn it
Well,
down.
I don't think that's a good option. I'm sorry. It is an
Why not?
easy
We
option.
We can look after. So the fire dies down. Like we clear out all the nasty shit. We get rid of all the webs. And then
Well,
all
we
the
don't
cool
even
stuff.
know like how far the webs go. Like I guess we should look before we set it on fire.
I just the further that we've come in, the more webs that we keep finding. So I figured, assumed that that it would probably continue on further as we go in, and it would probably get thicker and thicker. And so I was like, nah, fuck this. We should probably just burn it down.
Well, we can
I
always
have
burn
a-
it
I
down
have a
later,
thought.
but we can't unburn it down.
This is
can
true.
You are not wrong there.
I could fly over the tree line and see if I could find Himble. and check
Yeah,
out the
maybe just
situation
look.
from above.
Yeah, do that. Just try not
Can
to
I
touch
help
any
you
of these.
look? Carry me.
I mean, Marius can fly too. Why don't you just?
You
why don't we
are
just
the
have the two up
wings.
there, and we'll just
Yeah, I mean-
wait here. And
I'm not really that strong, Brett. I mean, I
Well.
guess I could cast fly on you.
I mean, it's
can-
not bulking season.
It's cutting season. It's true.
Cutting season, bro.
I can only
How
fly
long-
for 1 minute a day, so I mean, just hold on to that one.
Yeah, here. I think it's safer if I just go up. I can fly for 10 minutes. I feel like I have a pretty good sense of how long that is.
Okay,
You're
scream if you're in
practicing
trouble.
this. Oh, I think
Just
you'll
message
hear
Callan.
Yeah, I'll use the earring to be like, or you can just respond to this message.
me. It only goes for 120 feet as she flies up.
Well, don't fly out of 120-foot range. You can respond to this message.
She's gonna go above the tree line. See what she can see before she starts moving.
I love it. I love it. And as you take off, you're sort of Iron Manning up with your sort of spell work here.
Oh, is this where we're gonna take a potty break real quick?
And we can
Just
take a
let it go,
potty
man.
break right there. If we need to, potty break, we can do it now, or we can wait a little bit longer. It's up to y'all.
I just gotta pee really quick.
Let's
I don't
call
care
it.
either way. I just gotta pee really quick.
Let's call
Potty
it
break.
Let's call it potty break, real quick-a-roonies.
Woohoo!
A quick little
Cock
potty
pay.
break.
Okay, I'll be right back.